Hi, and welcome to the first lab section of English Linguistics 315. This is going to be the lab section on articulatory phonetics that we wrapped up this week. And so I wanted to start with by going over your first assignment today, and then we will get into some resources for articulatory phonetics and then some practice exercises. So this is your first assignment, which is on articulatory phonetics and the International Phonetic Alphabet, and this is going to be due on Sunday, September 8th before 11:59 p.m. And so what I want you to do in this assignment, I have a couple of different things that I want you to do. The first one is to transcribe your full name into IPA. And so the way that I would suggest doing this exercise is for you to look into a mirror and then start saying your name and see what your tongue is doing, what your place of articulation for certain sounds are, and what sounds your tongue and your mouth is actually making when you're producing your name. To do this, you should also probably go over my lecture slides if you have already not seen the lecture, but you should also go over my IPA handout a couple of different times before you start doing assignment 1. So once you are familiar with the symbols in the International Phonetic Alphabet, as well as you are familiar with the fact that your spelling may be different from your International Phonetic Alphabet, once you're comfortable with that, that's when I would recommend that you start typing up your assignment. So that's your first exercise, transcribing your full name. And once you are comfortable in doing that, I want you to do a little bit longer, a sentence that's a little bit longer, and that's exercise 2, where I've given you a sentence from Ulysses, Tennyson's Ulysses, and I want you to transcribe this entire sentence into the International Phonetic Alphabet. So the sentence I want you to translate is, I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experience is an archway through, gleams that untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. So again, for this, I would highly recommend that you stand in front of a mirror and you produce the sentence a couple of different times to get a feel of what are the different consonants at play in the sentence, what are the different kinds of vowels, etc. And then you keep your IPA handout with you and you go over a couple of different symbols and then start to transcribe this into the International Phonetic Alphabet. For exercise 3, I want you to do the opposite of exercise 2. I've actually given you one sentence in IPA, and I want you to transcribe this into the English alphabet. So read this IPA. It gives you practice in reading International Phonetic Alphabet transcription, and I want you to translate this back into English. And for the last exercise, I want you to give me the symbol for each of these consonants or vowels of the IPA. So let me know if you have any questions regarding your assignment, and I will be very happy to answer them. It is due, as a reminder, on September 8th, Sunday, before 11:59 p.m. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to walk you through a couple of resources that may be useful in understanding the IPA. And this is the International Phonetic Alphabet Chart. This is found in the University of York website. And so here's the link if you want to get to it yourself. And then what I want you to do is when you get into this page, this is the International Phonetic Alphabet for all the sounds in the world. We are not going to be concerned with all the sounds in this IPA chart. We are only going to be concerned with the sounds of American English. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go to this. So that's the International Phonetic Alphabet, which is the consonants. And when you roll over or move your mouse over each of these sounds, you can see that that particular sound lights up, and then it also tells you the parameters or the description of that particular sound. Now I want you to click on a particular sound and see what happens. So let's try to click on this guy.
Car. art, art.
And so you can see that there is a voice, there's a pronunciation guide to each of these sounds. Let's click on the velar nasal of English, which is the engma.
Nga, anga, ang.
And you can see that the pronunciation is according to the different context in which you can actually put that. So in between vowels, just the sound itself, etc. And so this is going to be a very useful tool for you to figure out how a symbol is actually produced and what do you actually call that symbol. Just a note that English does not have so many fricatives, so we only have the labiodental fricatives, the dental fricatives, alveolar, post-alveolar, palatal, and the glottal fricative. So we don't have to worry about the rest of them, right? This has all the alphabet for all the sounds in the world's languages, but we only care about American English. So if you go back, you can see that just below this there are consonants that are produced with non-pulmonic sounds, and these consonants do not exist in English, so we don't worry about them. We also don't worry about these other symbols or diacritics, but we do worry about the vowels. So I'm going to click on the vowels, and then this takes you to what is known as the vowel chart. It is arranged according to tongue height, as you can see. So you have front and then central and back, and you can see that if you hover your mouse over them, they even tell you what these descriptions and terminology actually stands for. And if you click on a symbol, so like the E symbol
E,
versus the schwa,
uh,
right, or the upside down V symbol, you can see how each of these are different. So this is going to help you understand the central vowels a little better. And then when you go back, you can see that your diphthongs are part of a separate vowel chart. And so if you click on that, you can see that there's one for American English and one for British English. We only worry about the American English one. And so if you go here and click on one of the American English ones, like this,
face.
so you can see that it's easier for you to understand where the diphthong starts and what direction the diphthong is actually moving to. So it's easier for you to remember the three major diphthongs of English as well as the two minor diphthongs of English. All right, so that is one of the resources that I wanted to show you, the International Phonetic Alphabet Chart from the University of York. The other resource that I wanted to show you was your IPA phonetic symbols keyboard. And so this can be found right here. This is ipa.typeit.org. And this is the landing page for this. This is IPA English. And then if you click here, keyboard with all IPA symbols right there, then the page refreshes, and then you will see that you get all the full IPA chart for you. So now if I want to type something, I can just go to any of these and just click what I want. So I will show you how to do, for example, phonetics. So I want, the first thing that I want is a fur. Let's see where fur is. Fur. I haven't used this keyboard in a while, as you can tell. But fur is actually not in the keyboard because it's part of the regular keyboard, right? So from the regular keyboard, you take the fur, and then phonetics has a schwa. The second vowel is actually a schwa, so you take schwa from the IPA keyboard, and then n is again from the regular keyboard. Phonetics, so again that's a schwa, and then t from the regular keyboard, and then you have this guy right here, and then a k and a s. So that's phonetics in IPA. Students often ask me if they can transcribe the first vowel as a O, like phonetics, and that's okay. It's just that the way I say it is phonetics. It's more like a schwa rather than a diphthong, right? But if you say it with a diphthong, feel free to transcribe it with a diphthong, right? So you can use this keyboard for your assignment. And so that was the second resource that I wanted to show you. And then here is some transcription exercises. But before I get into that, I actually wanted to show you, just a second. I thought I had opened up that lecture, but sorry about this. Just bear with me for 1 second. Okay, so I believe it is this one. So this is what I would normally do with a face-to-face lab section. I usually divide people up into groups and I let them work together as a group. So this is pages 36 of your textbook, exercises 1, 7, and 8, and page 63, exercises 1 to 11 and 14. So I want you to do these two exercises at home, and you can check the answers with me if you are having trouble figuring things out. But what I want to do is I want to show you the dance of the tongue, because I told you I will show you a video of an fMRI of the tongue in the lab section. So I want to show you that right now. All right, so this is the video.
You know what? We'll beat this. We don't cause trouble. We don't bother nobody with. And when we rock upon the mic, we rock the mic, right?
And so you can see this portion, right? That's the tongue. That's the one that's moving up and down. And you can see that when you're singing opera versus you're rapping, your tongue is like constantly moving into different positions. So it's a little easier for you to see this rather than when you're just talking and you're in an fMRI. This video is from the university that I did my PhD, University of Southern California. And so I will not show you the rest of the video in the interest of time, but feel free to watch this video at home at your own leisure. But this is what we call by the dance of the tongue. All right, and now, so that's in this, and then I also have the link to the York University IPA chart and another one from University of Iowa, though I believe that they don't have this link for free anymore, so you may not be able to access it, but definitely the York University one, you can access it. So I will link this PowerPoint into Blackboard as well. But what I want to do now is to just show you a couple of transcription. So this is from cambridge.org, and these are phonetic transcription exercises. And so they have given you a couple of words, and what they want you to do is to transcribe these into IPA and select the correct one from this drop-down menu. So once you do the transcription, you can actually check your answers against their answers. And so it's an interactive way of getting practice for your phonetic transcription. So what I want to do is I want to walk you through a couple of different words, and I will use the whiteboard at the back to do this. I'm just going to arrange myself so that you can see the white board clearly. All right. So let's go back to the, all right, so the first word is grab, right, grab. So the first letter in that is the speech sound G, right? So we transcribe that as a speech sound G. And then the second sound is a r, right? Grab. And I want you to remember the note that I had for you regarding the R sound of English. I said that the R sound of English is a retroflex and it is always written as an upside down R symbol. So that's really what I want you to remember, that if you write this as a regular R, I will mark you down. So do remember that you have to transcribe this as the upside down R. Now, the next vowel is grab. It's an a as an apple. So that is your A and your E symbols. That's grab. And then your B is going to be your regular sound. So that's grab in IPA. So let's select from the drop down menu. So it looks like it should be grab. And then see, and then it shows you whether you're correct or not. Let's do the second one. That's pluck. The first sound is a p, and that's a p in IPA. Second sound is a lateral, so that's l. And now you have a. So that's an upside down schwa symbol. And now you can see that you have just a k sound, though in spelling you have both a c and a k, but in pronunciation you just use one sound, a k. So what we are going to do is we are just going to transcribe that with the k. And so that's pluck in IPA. And so let us click that. And as you can see, that's again the correct answer. Now let's do stream. With stream, we start with the s, right? Str, so that's the d. The upside down R, stream, E, and m, right? Stream. All right, so I actually chose the wrong upside down R. So as you can see, you have to do the upside down R, right? I accidentally first pressed the one with the R. That's the correct one. All right, so that's stream. And then the next one is went. That's W, right? Went. That. And then the last one is rouge. Now remember that this is not an U, right? That's an O. So we don't want that symbol. We want this guy, right? The U, rouge. And then you have an affricate, right, which is written like that. So rouge, right, that one, right? And so as you can see, now we've got all the correct answers. So now we can move on to practice 2, right? And so here you can see that you have more words for phonetic transcription, but you also have an audio accompanying that. And so this is the same thing that I want you to do. I'm not going to walk you through this. I want you to do this at home, and I also want you to practice exercises 3, 4, and 5. And like I said, since this is interactive, it's easy for you to see if you have the right answer or the incorrect answer. So it's a really good way of getting a little bit of practice before you actually start doing your assignment 1. And I also want you to do the exercises that I mentioned at the back of the textbook. And I will also be putting up a couple of different handouts for more practice on Blackboard. And I will also be putting up a key so that you have the answers to the extra handouts that I put up on Blackboard. All right, so good luck practicing your phonetic transcription and have fun doing your first assignment. And as always, let me know if you have any questions either with your assignment or with any of the exercises that you practice online. All right, thank you.